Richarlison lives ordeal at Tottenham after highlight with the selection in the World Cup. Richarlison is not having a good time with Tottenham's shirt. What happened? UOL talked to Matt Barlow, a sports journalist who covers Tottenham's day-to-day for the English newspaper Daily Mail, to understand a little more about Richarlison's moment. Matt claims the player's confidence was damaged after he was left on the bench for both games against Milan in the last 16 of the Champions League. Richarlison was not selected to start in the two big Champions League matches against Milan and was upset. I do not know why. To be honest, his form hasn't been good enough to command a place in the team. But he was frustrated. That's when he spoke in public and Conte hit back to say that his season was bad. He had many injuries and no goals in the Premier League. Difficult situation. The striker scored just 2 goals in 28 games played in the 2022-2023 season, fought with his former coach and is experiencing a goal drought. Richarlison has not scored a goal in this edition of the Premier League. The player played in 20 matches in the Premier League and did not swing the net once. He helped the team with 3 assists. Richarlison's only 2 goals of the European season was scored in September last year, when Tottenham beat Olympique de Marseille 2-0 in the first round of the Champions League group stage. Spurs were knocked out of the Champions League Milan, in the round of 16. The ordeal in recent months contrasts with the great moment the striker experienced at the Qatar World Cup with the Brazilian national team at the end of last year. Richarlison was Brazil's top scorer at the World Cup with 3 goals, including the volleyed goal against Serbia in the group stage, voted the most beautiful in the competition. What explains the drop in income? Richarlison arrived at Tottenham as one of the key signings for the season. According to the English press, the Spurs paid £50 million, about 315 million Brazilian reals at the time, to Everton to buy the Brazilian, in addition to a possible £10 million in additional future bonuses. Encouraging start. The striker managed to make a good impact in his first appearances coming off the bench, and with Tottenham's victories he was ingratiating himself with the fans for being a very hard-working player. Sequence injuries got in the way. In October of last year, Richarlison suffered an injury to his left calf and needed more intensive treatment to be able to be 100% at the World Cup. In the quarter-finals of the World Cup, in the elimination of the Brazilian national team to Croatia, Richarlison was injured again, this time with a hamstring problem. The last injury happened last month. The player left the game against Southampton crying a lot with a new problem in his right leg. Fight with former coach and upset with the reserve. After being on the bench for the 2 main league games, Richarlison has been critical of the season and Antonio Conte, the team's former coach. Richarlison: there aren't any fools here either. I'm a professional, I work every day too, and I want to play. There are minutes left, time left, this season, excuse the language, it's been shit, because I don't have minutes.
Conte countered, first, I want to say that I watched Richarlison's interview. He didn't criticize me. He said that his season is *****, and he's right. His season is not being good. Richarlison was a disappointment. Antonio Conte ended up being fired after the elimination in the Champions and the bad results in the Premier League. But in the opinion of Matt Barlow, Richarlison's situation in the team should not change with a new coach. He should remain on the bench. For the Spurs, 2 goals is not much return for what they paid for him. Richarlison. In fact, he was never really going to take Kane or Son out of the team, Tottenham's first-choice strikers, considered by many great strikers in world football. He was battling Kulusevski for a spot and injuries didn't help Richarlison's case. His best performances were as a substitute. Conte's departure doesn't change much, analyzed the Daily Mail reporter. Richarlison was a disappointment. Arsenal signed an expensive Brazilian striker, Gabriel Jesus, and he helped turn them into title challengers. Spurs signed an expensive Brazilian striker and it got worse, not better.
If you like it, don't stay out. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, like and share. This is Tottenham Sports.